Then he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine. And he would gladly have filled his stomach with the pods that the swine ate, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. Yes. And he arose and came to his father, but when he was still a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight, and am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, bring out the best robe and put it on him. Glory. And put a ring on his hand, and sandals on his feet. And bring the fatted calf here and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again, and he was lost and is found. And they began to be merry. You can have your seats. This parable of the prodigal son, or some headings will say the parable of the lost son, is a beautiful picture of so much of our life. The brash arrogance that youth can engender. How many of you remember when you were in high school? I remember saying something in high school, and you looked like you were like, dang, that was dumb. I could tell I was so immature. Like, what was I? Why? We see that in the arrogance of this son who's like, Pop, give me everything, I'm ready for it. Just give it to me. I know I got an inheritance, and you're probably going to give it to me a few years down the line, but I'm ready for it, Pop. Lay it on me. Time to live this life. So he gave it to him. It was his, he gave it to him. Maybe prematurely. Maybe he wasn't ready, but he gave it to him because he asked for it, and it was his. And then what does he do? He goes off and he squanders it. That's part of the story. Another thing we see is the competitive pursuit of fairness, which often translates in our life as us making sure we're not forgotten and that we get what is ours.